Northrup, author of Money, a Love Story, and we're here for the Money Love Story series. And as part of the launch of my book, I'm just talking to some of the people that I love and respect about their own journey with money, because money is such a taboo topic, and I want to inspire more people to talk about it openly in public in a conscious, loving way, so that more people know that it's possible to have a conscious, loving relationship with their money. So that's what we're up to. Welcome, Nisha. This is Nisha Moodley. Hello.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much, Kate. I'm saying welcome too. Welcome, Kate.
Welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. Hello. And Nisha, for those of you who aren't familiar with her fabulosity, is a empowerment coach for women entrepreneurs, and you can find her at Fierce Fabulous Free. And she has these incredible retreats, and she's got one coming up in Sonoma with Sarah Jenks. It's like, looks so delicious and yummy. I can, every time you guys post a photo, I'm like drooling. And she does coaching and all sorts of amazing things. And so, Nisha, I know I've read some, I read your blog and I love it. And I've read some cool stories about your history with money and you became a business owner and stuff. And I'd love to know, just to start out with, what did you learn about money growing up, and what was the money kind of message for you in childhood?
So whether it was implicitly or explicitly, some of the things I learned about money through childhood. So first of all, it is hard to make money. Making money is difficult. It requires hard work. And that there's a virtue to that, that it's more virtuous to work hard to earn one's money than it is to have it handed to you or to have it come to you easily. And I remember feeling a real mistrust of anyone or anything that would have money flow to a person easily.
Wow.
But I remember as a little girl, one of my favorite television shows was Silver Spoons with Ricky Schroeder. I don't know if you remember this. Early 80s. Right, so Silver Spoons. And this was like, the rich kid, the kid who grew up with the silver spoon. And my favorite movie growing up was The Toy, which was a Richard Pryor movie. And there was this little boy whose father was, infinitely wealthy. And when he went to this toy store and he could have anything, he bought Richard Pryor. And, watching, taking a peek into the world of these kids who were what I considered the peak of incredible riches and affluence. Like they had pinball machines in their bedrooms and all of that. There was this, I was enamored by it and also deeply, deeply mistrustful of it. Like there was something bratty and wrong about having money.
Wow. And
at the same time, money was worth working hard for. And you were supposed to work hard until you had enough.
So, and did you know what enough was?
Enough to eat.
Okay.
Enough to eat, enough to pay the bills.
Okay.
Enough to get by, to get by. And, I think that another thing that I thought about money growing up was that it was scarce. Mm-hmm. And in the scarcity, there was some sort of idea that there was a responsibility to divide and share wealth. Mm-hmm. And so that was another thing. Like, rich people are selfish because they're not giving their money to everyone else.
Got it.
Yeah.
So those are some interesting and pretty clear messages that you received. So I'd love to know, as you left home, went out and started to do your own thing, not necessarily do your own business, but I know that came eventually, but just kind of doing your own thing, not being under your parents' roof. How did those messages impact some of the choices that you made, and did you run into any challenges as a result of that financially?
Yeah. So how did it impact the choices I made, or how did those beliefs impact the choices I made? For starters, I worked really hard. I always worked really hard. And there's a sort of a blessing and a curse in that hard work, where any idle time was guilty time. It wasn't pleasure time or playtime. It was guilty time. I should be I should be out earning.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side, and maybe this is actually not even a flip side, it's more of a manifestation of the experience of guilt, was, oh, I've worked hard, so I deserve to have this time off, which was a little bit more of a story. And I would like get wasted in my time off or do things that just weren't meaningful, because the meaning was in the hard work.
Yeah.
And so I would say, you know, those sort of experiences, and also I've noticed over the years how much I had a fantasy about having money come to me easily. Like, wouldn't it be nice if it just came easily? But because I didn't have a relationship that I could create that I could create that ease, it was always like, you know, that what we see, like lottery fantasy, knight in shining armor fantasy, and neither of those things have happened for me. There have been no lottery wins, and there was no knight in shining armor. I married a musician, an artist, and you know, we're divorced now. But those things didn't happen. I know there was a second part to your question, which I missed because
but you answered the first part beautifully. And I'd love to know, so there's the hard work, which, like you said, is a double-edged sword. And that's certainly something that I've grappled with myself and continue to do so. And I did have a second part of the question, but instead what I want to ask you is, in working with women entrepreneurs on a daily basis, what do you teach in terms of, I know that pleasure and fun and feminine energy are such important parts of your practice, and I'm just going to ask this from a selfish perspective because I really want to know, like, how do you teach those things when it comes to making money? And have you managed to come up with a way to break down the you must work hard for your money ethos that's so deep in our culture?
Well, first of all, the question that I always ask is, what kind of world do we want to live in? What kind of world do you want to live in? And I'm choosing to live in a world where I can hold both ambition and ease at the same time.
Cool.
And they can cohabitate. And I can feel, I also choose to live in a world where I've decided that life is here for living. And I've been given the incredible gift of being born in a part of the world that I have so much access and so many riches, financial and otherwise, so many riches. And it's really my job to enjoy my life, to make a difference and to enjoy my life. So again, ambition and ease living together simultaneously. And if I want to live in a world like that, then the way to do that is to be it.
Yeah.
That's it. The way to do it is to be it. So, you know, one of the explorations that I go on with the women that I work with is where are they leaning too far in the direction of ambition, meaning they're just driven, work, focus, determination, in sort of a more masculine energy, which is nothing wrong with that, but they're leaning a little too much in that direction that they're not feeling ease.
Yeah.
Or are they leaning too far into ease, which might look like, oh, I'll do it another day, like nothing's really getting done, and there isn't enough fire behind the desires.
Yeah.
And in terms of money, then, it's looking really deeply at the relationship that we have with money. And, you know, I think what this world needs right now is more healthy relationships.
Yep.
Women having healthy relationships with ourselves, with our sisters, with our brothers, with our partners, with our parents, and with money. Money is a thing to be related to.
Yes, it is.
And for years, I coached women around emotional eating before I did the work that I'm doing now. So I was talking a lot about relationship with food. And, you know, we can have a broken relationship with money or a healthy relationship with money. It's going to be pretty hard to have no relationship with money.
Yep.
Unless you, I don't know, blast yourself off to the moon or something.
Which would take money.
Yeah, money is the energetic, which would take money, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Money is the energetic currency that we've chosen to use predominantly in our world for exchange of goods and services. And so you want to have a healthy relationship with it or broken relationship with it.
Right.
And I choose a healthy relationship, and I encourage the women I work with to choose a healthy relationship. And I think it's exploring what lives at that intersection of ambition and ease when it comes to money and to all of life. And I think that's where we find the sort of like the fierce aspect of femininity and the fabulous, playful aspect of femininity cohabitating.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So as a follow-up on that, I would imagine your methodology and what you work with has come from largely personal experience. So is there like a moment in time that you can remember where you were having financial challenges and where you were able to learn something about either yourself or your relationship to money that has impacted you to be able to be like living this amazing life? And I know that you are doing quite well. So was there a moment or a learning that came from a challenge?
Yeah, it was kind of a string of moments, I would say. So part of my bio includes the words foodaholic, shopaholic, and workaholic. Former. I'm glad that they're all in the past tense, but there was a time in my life where I spent completely indiscriminately. I wanted something, I bought it, I hoped that the debit card went through, and if it did, great, and I'll figure out rent and food later. And, all of those things, the overspending, the overeating, the overworking, were all trying to fill a hole that none of those things really could fill.
Right.
So as I overcame my overspending, I just replaced it really with a new addiction. It wasn't a true overcoming, and I just threw myself headlong into work. And the work that I got most passionate about was the business that I began building. And so I still had this more avoidant relationship with money, and was building this business. And it was really my experience of being on the brink of burnout. I think I actually stepped into burnout several times and sort of like, thank God that my job was to be a holistic health coach because I knew how to get myself out of burnout. But I was still a workaholic. And the odyssey that I went on to create a beautiful life for myself and a sustainable business, because I realized I wasn't building a sustainable business or a sustainable life, had me have to heal once and for all this relationship that wove itself through food and money and work. And I think that the big turning point for me was the choice to be truly free in my relating to all of life. And if I'm going to be truly free, I can't be avoiding. Anything that I'm avoiding, there is no freedom in avoidance. So I had to just look headlong at my relationship with money. And I think one of the biggest things that made a difference for me was in the journey to develop a healthier relationship with myself and my money and food and life, really, was to get in community with people who had healthier relationships than I did in those different areas. And being in a community of people who have a healthy relationship with money, when you don't, pretty quickly forces you to get out of the community or get in relationship. And
smart.
I kind of stumbled my way into that one. It was not super intentional. I'm so grateful that it showed up when it did, because I think that was one of the biggest game changers for me, was just being in relationship with people who, they didn't have some of the stories I had around money, around working hard. And also, there's a thing, and I see this a lot in my community, working with women who are wanting to make a difference in the world, like the rub around making money. Like, I want it because I want the lifestyle that it'd give me, but am I evil for making money as a healer or a coach?
Absolutely.
And there's so much in there, and to be in a community of people who had worked a lot of that stuff out within themselves had me work a lot of that within myself.
Amazing. So final question is, given that we're all on this journey and nobody ever kind of like gets there with our relationship with anybody or anything, including money, what's your next growth edge or the next frontier for you when it comes to relating to money?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked this. So every year I choose somewhere between 3 to 5 what I call freedom focuses. So things that I'm going to focus my energy and attention around and my money around to create an expansion of freedom in that area. And one of the things that I chose for this year was going pro with my accounting and bookkeeping and financial tracking and budgeting, like just really getting into a relationship with my money where I feel like there's a container that I've created so that my money can show up in support of me and my mission in the world.
Cool.
Rather than being this like still semi-hopeful.
Yep.
There's enough. Good. I'll just make more.
Right.
Yeah. I've been in the I'll just make more paradigm for a long time, which is empowering.
It is. It's a step up from like, where is the money going to come from?
Right. And it's been huge. I mean, huge for me to have now a relationship with money where I really genuinely believe I can make more when and if I want to need it.
Love that.
That to me is freedom, another level of freedom with money, right? I can make more, no problem. The next level for me is tending this garden. Mm-hmm. I've grown a garden financially and now being really intentional about taking care of my money.
Yeah.
It's landing now, and I've been working on being more and more intentional about taking care of it.
Cool.
And with the mindset of abundance and just flows in and out. It's never going to sit and land forever, but I can also create it.
Right.
So
I love that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing where you're at with that. That's beautiful.
Thank you for asking. It feels
You're
really
welcome.
good to declare,
yes.
which I know is one of your intentions.
It is.
So with you, we don't talk about, it's like sex, food, money.
Yep. We don't talk about it enough.
Taboo things we don't talk about, but it does feel actually good, pleasurable.
It does, and that's the part. That's the money love story. So thank you for sharing your money love story, at least some really juicy nuggets of it. And if you want to know more about Nisha, again, check out Fierce Fabulous Free. Definitely check out her retreat. And if you want to know more about Money, a Love Story, and continue on with this sort of conversation, which is very much in here, go to moneyalovestory.com. And when you buy the book by September 24th, you'll get access for free to a 2-hour online event I'm doing called A Course in Having Enough. And I've got guest teachers, Marianne Williamson, Barbara Stanny, and Amanda Steinberg, who founded dailyworth.com, coming to join me. So go to moneyalovestory.com. Thank you, Nisha. I love you.
Thank you, Kate. I love